Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today we're back with another re-review. If you've never seen my re-review videos before, it is where I take all the products that I tested in this month last year on my YouTube channel and I test them out again. And I let you know my thoughts about them a year on, and it all comes down to the final question of, if I lost all my makeup, would I repurchase the product? Because that is a surefire way of knowing whether or not I enjoy it and like it. I will say this month there is not a full face. I did skip over quite a lot of steps of my makeup, but the videos we are focusing on is testing the Soph 3.0 collection, testing the Beautybay Youtopia collection, and there's also a few extra videos where I tested a few extra things, so they're all thrown in here as well. But this is the look, let me know what you think of it. Obviously very bright, very colourful, we love that. Let me know your thoughts as we go through the video. Let me know if you have any of the products, or just let me know how your day is going. I'd be interested to know. But other than that, I will let you get on with the video. If you like it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. But I'll let you enjoy the video. Okay, let's make a start with our review. Like I said in the intro, I didn't test a lot in this month last year, so not everything in this video is going to be from my testing videos, but I'll just skip past those bits. We're going to start with eyes, because where I didn't test a full face this time last year, I tested enough eye products for about 10 full faces. So we'll make a start. What I'm going to do is talk about all of them at the start and then just do an eye look, otherwise it might get a bit confusing. And I'll just put some music over the eye look. So let's just make a start. First of all, we have the Beautybay Bright Mattes palette. Now this is a bit of a cheat because I had already tested it, but it was used on my YouTube channel for the first time this time last year. It looks like this. It is a 42 shade palette. It is completely matte. It has every colour you could possibly need in terms of matte shades. I love this palette. I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on a couple of shades, because honestly I use this fairly often. You've probably seen it on my channel a few times. You've definitely seen it on my Instagram loads. I use it a lot in my everyday life as well, because I do like wearing colourful eyeshadow in everyday life. If I lost all my makeup, I would 100% repurchase this palette. It's only like £23 and it's very often on sale, so I would definitely repurchase this. In fact, if I lost this palette and I still had all my other eyeshadow palettes, I would repurchase this because I use this palette so often. This probably gets the most use currently in my collection, so definitely will be using this today. Next up is the Soph Super Spice palette. It looks like this. This came out around this time last year. I tested this, and we also have the highlighter to test and her lip kit. They'll be coming later, but this is the eyeshadow palette. I have relatively recently done a palette play video with this, which if you're not familiar with those videos on my channel, it's where I pick a palette at random from my collection and create 3 looks using it. I have done that with this palette, and what I have found is I kind of prefer the neutral shades in this palette, which is not something you frequently hear me say. I bought this palette thinking I was going to fall in love with all these bright shades, but from my palette play video I did a look using the browns, and that was my favourite look of the video, which is such a shame because I do love colourful eyeshadow, but so many shades in this palette I feel like just don't live up to what you'd expect. The pink is very intense, it takes over every look you include it in. The shimmery blue doesn't have much pigment to it. The lilac doesn't have much pigment to it. They're just not my favourites. Actually, I will leave linked in the description box my testing video. The look I did in that video, I loved. It's all the looks I've done after that I've not really cared for that much. So I will try and use this today. I might dip into this for a shimmer shade. In terms of would I repurchase this palette, here's the problem. I'm about to start filming my declutter videos. They're going to be up on my channel very soon. And I feel like I'm not going to get rid of this palette because I have Soph's other 2 palettes and I feel bad breaking up the trio. But if I lost this palette, if I lost all of my palettes, I probably wouldn't repurchase this, just because I very, very rarely reach for this. In fact, I haven't reached for it since the palette play video. It's just not my favourite. In fact, I much prefer her other 2 palettes, so I probably wouldn't repurchase this one. And palette number 3, like I said, is fully matte. This is the Beautybay Utopia palette. I don't know if you can still get this anymore, but it looks like this. It is 8 matte shades. It's a similar format to their Pastels palette. I love their Pastels palette, but this is sort of just the bright version of it. I will say I quite like this palette, and I have used it a fair amount. I haven't used it recently because obviously it's been winter and I've been working, so this is definitely more of a summer palette. But last summer I went camping with some friends and I took this and a bunch of liquid glitter shadows, and that's all the eyeshadow I took, and I just used different shades from this and put a different liquid glitter on top every day, and it worked. So definitely going to use this today. But then on top of that, we also have a few extra eye products. So the first one is the Beautybay Pressed Eye Pigment in the shade Bloom. This was part of the Utopia collection. They came out with 4 of these, and I wish I'd bought all 4 because I love this. It has a pink to gold reflect. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but I literally wear this all the time. In fact, as I'm filming this video, I wore this on my eyes to work yesterday. I use it all the time. I feel bad using it in videos and on my Instagram because you can't get this anymore. And I really regret not picking up the other 3. I'm pretty sure there was a blue brown sort of shade, there was a gold shade, and there was a one that was similar to this. I don't actually know what the difference between the 2 was. Maybe it was more red instead of pink. But I really wish I'd bought all 4 because I love this. If I lost this from my collection, I wouldn't be able to repurchase it, but I would. I'd repurchase it in a heartbeat if they still had it. In fact, if they brought them back, if they brought out new shades, I'd buy them all immediately without question because I know I'd get use out of them because I love this. Also from the Beautybay Utopia collection is the Aquaveted liner palette. I think they now have 3 of these. They've recently come out with a new one, but this was the first one they did, and I'll be honest, I don't use it very often. I currently can't. There we go, it's open. I don't use this that often at all. I'm not great with liner looks and I really want to improve, so I really should test this a bit more, but I just don't get much use out of it. It is fun, but I don't get much use out of it. I'm not going to use it today, and I don't think I would repurchase this if I lost it from my collection. And then we also have a loose pigment from the brand, I think it's Black Heart Beauty, in the shade Death Drop. It's this beautiful neon yellow colour. Black Heart Beauty is no longer a makeup brand, so I'm not going to use this today. And I'll be honest, I've not used it a lot since I bought it. I've maybe used it 3 times. I should use it a bit more, but if I were to lose this out of my collection, I wouldn't repurchase it, mainly because I wouldn't be able to, but I just don't get enough use out of it. But it is really nice, and I definitely want to pick up some more loose pigment type eyeshadows to see if I like them. But yeah, I'm not going to use it today, but it's good, it works. I did enjoy using it, I just don't reach for it very often. There we go. I think that's all of the eyeshadow products. Well, let's put them on my eyes. All I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do quite a fun, colourful, sunsetty type look because I think that'll get the use out of a lot of shades. But I'll just speed it up and put some music over it so that it's a bit more relaxed and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'll zoom you in as well. And there we go, that's how the eye look is looking right now. It's very intense, it's a lot. I had to use a lot of different products and that's fine. I actually quite like it. I think it's very summery, very bright. I'm a fan of this sort of makeup. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, catch up the other eye, because otherwise this video will be too long. I'm also going to put on brows and mascara because I don't have anything from this month last year to include. I'll also put on a face primer and then we'll come back and look at foundation because I do have one of them to test. I'll see you in a moment. So I decided against doing my brows and my mascara. I just decided I'm going to do them afterwards, otherwise I have to try and navigate my brows whilst putting on foundation. I have put on a primer though. Any step I'm skipping over, I'm just going to use my Project Pan makeup because I'm going to film my Project Pan update after this. So I've just used my Project Pan primer. And the foundation we have is the NYX Total Control Pro Drop Foundation. I have the shade Light Pale. I was very kindly sent this by NYX. I've used it once. I hated it. It really didn't look good on my skin. I really didn't like it. I did put a sort of video up on my TikTok and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on my Instagram as well. Yeah, I just didn't like this. But let's give it another go. So first thing to note is obviously it's too pale for me. I kind of look ridiculous. Ignore that. It's actually not sitting too badly on my skin. It doesn't look the best. This isn't the best looking foundation on me. I would say I have dry skin, but I don't. I think I have normal to dry skin because some of my skin can get a bit dry and I can have dry patches quite often. But then I also get oily spots, so maybe I have combination skin. Maybe that's what I have. I have combination skin. And I just don't think this looks great anywhere on my face. I know a lot of people really, really like this, and even if we ignore the shade, I just don't like it. I don't think it looks that nice on me. As it stands right now, I wouldn't repurchase it. I didn't repurchase it in the first place. I wouldn't repurchase it if I lost it. In fact, it might be something that I get rid of in my declutters. So yeah, that's my verdict on that. I know a lot of people love it. It's just not for me at all. I think even if I had the right shade, it wouldn't work that great for me. Should I zoom you in a bit more? I feel like you're a bit too far away, so I'll zoom you in a little bit. I'm going to skip over concealer, powder, blush and bronzer, and we're going to skip on to highlight. We're back and we're about to do highlight, but before we do, I do just have a little comment to make on the foundation again. It's looking very patchy on my cheek, and because of that it's making everything else look a bit patchy. This clings to dry patches. It's showing up dry patches I didn't even know I had, like ones on my cheek where I don't consider my cheeks to be particularly dry areas of my face. Like my forehead, fair enough, my forehead gets dry all the time, but I'm getting like patches on my cheeks. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them. Maybe I'll give you a zoomed in look at the end, but yeah, it's just not looking great. But anyway, let's move on to highlighter. We have the Soph Highlight Duo in Sugar Frosting. She came out with 3. This is the light version. These are meant to be these 2 shades from her original palette, and they do match, and I did test them against each other. They are pretty similar, and I have hit pan on this shade and I'm very close to hitting pan on this shade, so it makes sense for me to have them in duplicates, and these are much bigger amounts. However, what I did say when I started using this was that I didn't want to dip into it much until I had used this one up a lot more. And I am slowly doing that. Like I said, I've hit pan, I'm almost hitting pan on this shade. And those are the 2 shades that are duplicated. So once I've got a lot of use out of this, I'll switch over to using this one. But obviously I'm going to use this one today. I do think it's a nice formula. I'll do it and talk over it. I did go in with both shades as I quite like both of them and I like mixing them together. I do think the formula is an improvement. It's a much smoother formula in my opinion compared to the original palette. However, I'm just fine with using the original palette, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. But once I have used those 2 shades in that palette, I will definitely switch on to using this. I don't think I've hit pan in any other highlighter by myself, at least. I don't think I've hit pan on any of my other highlighters. So knowing I've hit pan on the original palette really does fill me with hope for using it up and moving on to this one, because I really do like it. I like that she came out with the duos. I like that they're bigger pans. I like that she did a light, medium and dark version. I also think she changed some of the shades slightly. Like for example, I think this white like champagne-y shade is a bit more golden than the original, and I quite like that. Overall, I really like this palette. If I lost it out of my collection, would I repurchase it? Maybe not right now because I have the palette, but definitely I think if I were to use up those two shades in my palette, or if I was to use up one of the shades in my palette, I would definitely pick up this, because these are the two shades I use the most. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, do my brows, mascara. I don't think I'm going to do any lashes. As much as I think this look probably needs some lashes, I'd also like to carry on with the rest of my day, so I don't want to be sat here trying to apply lashes for the next 5 minutes. I will come back and do a lower lash line because I think I want to use some different colours. I want to use some maybe blues and greens under there, and then we'll also do a lip when I come back as well. See you in a moment. I'm back and it's time to do a lower lash line. I think I'm going to use some of the mattes from the Soph palette, and just to change up the colours a little bit, I'm just going to use the green and the blue and put them on my lower lash line. There we go, just another little pop of colour. It's not too in your face, but it's definitely different. So now I'm just going to quickly put some mascara on my lower lash line as well. Also, I have two eyeliners. These again are from NYX, very kindly sent to me. These are the Epic Wear liner sticks. I have the shade Pink Spirit and Turquoise Storm. I think I'm going to go Turquoise Storm just because of the blue on my lower lash line. I did just cut out the part of me applying it because I don't like watching people apply pencils to their waterlines, so I don't want to put any of you lot through that. But these pencils are actually really, really good. I really do enjoy them. If I lost them out of my collection, if I lost all my makeup, I probably would repurchase some of these. They do so many different colours and I'm always tempted to pick up more, but I just never do, so maybe I should. Now it is time for a lip, and I have 3 products that I tested this time last year, but this is a set. So this is the Soph lip kit in, I think this is, it's not the toffee one, it's the other one. It's like candy or sugar or something like that, but it's the pinky toned one, and that comes with a lip liner, and that looks like this. I have sharpened this, they are sharpenable, and a lip balm. It is a tinted lip balm. It's like a little pink, and this is just a roll up, roll down sort of product. I also have the Wild Blossom Beauty lip gloss in Autumn Leaves. This was very kindly sent to me by them. They have an Etsy store. I'm not sure, but this isn't available on their store anymore. They might be shutting down their store, so I'm gonna go in with the lip pencil and the lip balm. I'm not gonna use the lip gloss today. I quite like this lip kit. I think it's quite a good lip kit idea to have a tinted lip balm. I quite like tinted lip balms. I think this is a really nice shade. I kind of wish it was ever so slightly more pink because the toffee version is brown, and I still think that this lip liner is quite brown. The lip balm is quite pink, but it's also quite sheer, so I would just prefer a slightly more pink toned. But what I did do quite a lot when I used to use this more often is I would use a different lip liner with it, and I would use a more pink lip liner with it and use it like that. What I will say is I haven't used it a lot recently, maybe just because for me like a non-matte lip is a very summery thing, so maybe now that we're coming into summer I'll start using it a bit more. I do really like it. The lip gloss I also really like. I'm not a massive lip gloss person. I am slowly getting more on board with them, and I do quite like this one. This one's in my Project Pan. I do use it a fair amount now it's in my Project Pan. If I lost it out of my collection, I probably wouldn't rebuy it. Not because it's bad. It's actually really good and really pretty, and it comes out clear. And it doesn't have a scent to it, which I quite like. But the reason why I wouldn't pick up this one is because I'd probably just go to Superdrug and pick up a cheap clear lip gloss because I don't really care too much about them. But this is a really nice one. That is a full face of all the products I tested this month last year on my channel. I quite like it. I say full face, it's nowhere near a full face, but I quite like the look I've created, and I feel like it's less successful than my other months. I feel like there's a few more products in this month that I wouldn't repurchase, but that's fine. That's how it works sometimes. But overall, I am happy with the look. I do quite like it. I don't actually think my skin looks that bad. anymore. I did give it a spritz with setting spray, so maybe that helped to just sort it out a bit, but I will give you a zoomed in look at my skin anyway. There we go, hopefully you can see. I know the highlight's a bit blinding, you can thank Soph for that, but can you just see on my cheeks it just looks like it's clinging to dry patches a little bit, and also on my forehead again. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell, it's very bright in here, but can you just sort of see? It's just not the best. This is the eyes as well. I really like this eye look, I think it's very pretty. Let's do an outro. Here we go. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. I will leave linked in the description box below all of the videos of me originally testing these products, as well as a playlist, so you can watch all of my other re-reviews if you would like to. But other than that, have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.